So a few years ago, I had a patient come into the clinic and she had awful sciatica. It was in the back, right in this area here, around the lowest section there, hip, down the leg. It was agony, it was debilitating, and it was affecting her life in a major way. Now, I'm going to show you how we got rid of this problem, because she'd been to surgeons, she'd been to doctors, GPs, physios, physical therapists, all sorts of people, and everyone is obsessed with the pinched nerve in the lowest part of the spine shooting down the leg, and believe me, that is where a lot of sciatica happens. However, if you've tried everything to get rid of sciatica and it's still persisting and it's not going, maybe it's not coming from that area. Now, there's a very obvious place that it's also potentially coming from, and that is something that can't be seen on an MRI scan. It can't be seen on an X-ray because it's not an obvious disc prolapse that presses on a nerve. It's coming from this area here, what we call the piriformis muscle. Now, on some people, that sciatic nerve passes through the piriformis muscle and that muscle tightens, and that tightening will pinch on the nerve and send pain down the leg. So if you've done everything to try and get rid of sciatica and it's persisting, and when you sit down you can feel it even more, maybe you've got Piriformis syndrome. Let's figure out whether you've got that, and then how we're going to fix it. So if you find that when you're sat down for a long period of time, the sciatica gets worse, you've got to stand up and walk around to try and free things up. Maybe you've got pain that really is definitely in the buttock area. If you press in, is it painful? That's a good sign the piriformis muscle is tight. The piriformis muscle goes from the tip of the sacrum round to the tip of the pelvis. It's a deep muscle underneath the big gluteus maximus muscle. Now I'm going to show you two ways that we can affect that piriformis muscle to release it off and take pressure off the nerve. Number one is with a deep inhibition. Number two is with a stretch, a specific stretch that we need to do to release that piriformis muscle. The deep inhibition, if you get a tennis ball, cricket ball, any sort of ball, maybe like a therapy ball, you place it on the floor and I want you to then sit on it. So I'm going to do it on here to show you, but if you could do the same thing on the floor or a chair, effectively move around on the painful area and sit right on that hot spot. Find the most painful area in the buttock and just get pressure on it. Now, it's important here that you don't roll about. You stay very, very still. Staying very, very still on that really tight piriformis muscle. It's going to be very, very painful. You might even feel pain going down the leg. I want you to persist with it. Keep that pressure there. And as you do that, the muscle will gradually relax. And that relaxing of the muscle means that you might feel the pain start to drop. And then you're going to move to a new spot. You're going to keep on persisting with it. You're going to find another really sore area. Keep the pressure on it and hold it there. You might be on the floor in this position at this point. You might be sat in a chair like I was. It doesn't matter. You could be against a wall, even leaning into a wall. Ultimately, get that ball right into that spot and get pressure directly on that piriformis muscle. As the muscle relaxes, the pressure will come off the nerve. And you do that 4 to 5 times all through this hip area every single day. If you find lots of benefit from it and you actually want to do it twice a day, once at the beginning and end of the day, that's fine. Just keep on doing it, keep getting the benefit. Now, as well as doing that, we need to stretch out the muscle. The piriformis muscle requires a very specific stretch. Now, there's 2 ways you can do this one. Number one is to place your foot across there, let that knee drop. That's the key bit, let that knee drop down, and then lean yourself forwards. As I do that, I can feel a stretch in that hip area there. And you hold that one for a good minute and do that one 5 times a day. So regularly throughout the day. Again, if you want to do it more, do it more. If it helps it, do it more. So you hold in this position and you do that one regularly. Now, another way we can do that one is if you're at home perhaps, or if you're on the floor, you can do the exact same stretch in this position. Reach through and pull up. So it's doing the same thing with the leg. Actually, there's another way, and a lot of people find this one useful. So we can do it on the floor or a bed. Effectively, you put your foot like this and then just lean into there. I find this one useful because you can move around, play about with the angle until you really hit that hot spot. And it's easy to hold it here for a good minute. You don't have to pull with your arms. It's just the easier way to do it, I believe. Now, that's how to stretch out the piriformis muscle. You also now know how to release that piriformis muscle with some deep inhibition. That is something that you need to persist with. It can take weeks for this to really release off properly, but I'm hoping after a few days you'll start to feel some relief on that sciatic nerve. It's a great option to really get in there, release off this area, because believe me, not all sciatica comes from the lowest part of your spine. A lot of it does come from this piriformis hip area. So get that released off, Hopefully that makes a big difference. Also, go and watch my other sciatica videos because I've got more piriformis help and also more back pain sciatica help as well. So go and watch those and follow all the exercises there.